Hey everybody, welcome to another sketch by Rufusman. Today we're going to do something a little fun, so here we go. This is a draw in your style thanks to Heather Mahler Art. But before we get going here, a little message from our sponsor here. Bleak Haven Comics presents Brynock the Destroyer, now available on Webtoons. Illustrated by yours truly, Rufusman, in collaboration with the amazing writers from Bleak Haven Comics. This Dungeons & Dragons inspired action comedy follows Brynock and his friends as they go on a haphazard quest, battling all kinds of monsters and facing innumerable perils. Feel free to read this lovely comic for free on webtoons.com. Alright, back to our drawing. I chose this design because, one, I'm a big fan of Heather Mahler's artwork. She's just got a really cool eye for design, and I did one of these before that she did for Halloween. I just love being able to render her designs in another way, and this one was no exception. This year, it's a vampire lady holding a glass of what I can only assume is a Chardonnay of lovely blood. But as I do it in my style, part of my style is putting figures in action. I love things in movement, and I can easily see this character in the middle of some type of dynamic pose. So that's what I'm working on right now with my sketching. I'm just kind of penciling it out. And at this stage of the game, you know, a lot of things are just really organic. I'm more focused on the movement and the impressions of the character, and using some creative liberties as well. I thought, oh, this would be cool to, use the dress, but I'm thinking of, well, let's make it more like a gown. I'm not exactly sure, if it is a gown or not, but I used some creative license here based on my impressions of just like the V line of the blouse. I'm like, this looks like it could be a billowing gown, which would only add to, I feel like, the impression that this is a classy and dangerous, foreboding character. Instead of a glass, I'm gonna have her holding a heart. Yeah, squeezing it. Yep, because maybe she's just got done with her latest victim and she's like, yeah, I have a heart. But yeah, now I'm starting with the inking. This is on a separate layer, and I'm using the same brush, you could say, or it's a pen tool. It's in black. I just love the texture and the application of the lines I get with this. It just feels very natural for this kind of piece. Cool. I'm liking this already. Yep. So the hair is really cool because it's kind of like wispy. It's got these strands that are kind of following a certain direction there, and I kind of wanted to help capture that from what I saw in the drawing. As you can tell, I'm kind of fiddling around with the shape of the face and different placement for the jewelry. Now, when I do an interpretation, I'm going to include the majority of the details, but not necessarily all of them. It just really depends on the piece. And in this case, I'm showing more of an action than I am displaying every single detail you might see in a portrait. We're going to take another little break to hear a message from another sponsor, this time from Yonder Comics. Hey, do you want to read more amazing comics like Moon Witch? Well, feel free to check out GoFundMe and do us a favor. Right on. Okay, back to our drawing. As we continue the inking process, you'll see me adding certain designs, but also not necessarily following all of my guidelines. Once again, the pencil is a guide. You are not necessarily married to it. You can deviate and, kind of veer from the path in that regard, as using your best judgment on what is going to be the best placement for the story that we're trying to tell. Here I was, kind of going along with this hand, and I wasn't really loving it. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm gonna do it like this. Yep. So I was like, well, I kind of love that clutching pose. So I'm like, well, let's have her clutch yet another heart. Oh my gosh, she must have attacked a wandering couple through the woods or something like that. And now, well, she's gonna get herself a double special, I guess, with the blood. And now we're gonna be drawing the rest of this lovely dress. Kind of billow it out. As you can tell, I also modified the sleeves a little bit to give it more of a flowy gown look. And here's our second heart. Kind of working out the design for it. Like, it's gonna be lumpy and squishy because it's pretty fresh, and she's also squeezing the heck out of it. So, yeah, definitely gonna have some veins popping, blood spurting. Oh yeah, all the good things. Yep. Cool. Yep. It's looking pretty good. Okay. Now I'm adding the billows of the dress. Kind of like spreading it out. And as you can tell, I'm moving the page around. Sometimes it just helps with, placement for the hand, and it just makes the line delivery a lot smoother. Here's where I'm starting to add some tattoo work. Now, obviously, we don't really see her legs in the original, but kind of going off of what I've seen in her work before, spider webs is kind of one of her things. So I thought this will definitely fit for this design. I'm continuing that design. This is now borrowing from the reference material. And continuing on now to the other leg. Yeah, she's got quite the intricate flow of tattoos right here. And because we're dealing with such a tight space now, I'm not going to add every single detail, like the cool little pumpkin there. It's going to be a little hard to show with the current configuration of the pose. But what I can do is add some more detail over here on the thigh. I was first thinking, oh, I'll do a little pumpkin thing, or maybe it's a mouth. Yeah, maybe it's like a big, giant vampire mouth. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. And add some, hearts because she loves to bite. And at first I was like, okay, a sword and a scythe would be cool, But I was like, you're not really gonna see the scythe, so let's just carry on the sword. The two swords, get it done. Sometimes you just got to make quick decisions to go, okay, yeah, let's just move on. We got to give the right impression for the drawing. Yeah, she's got a snake on the other leg there. But yeah, so this is coming along really well. Now the drawing itself was about 24 minutes long. I double timed this for sake of the video, but it's something I kind of just did on the fly. Not a lot of thought into it, but it evolved, and that's one of the things I enjoy about these sketch sessions, is because I don't really know how it's going to pan out. So here I am dropping color. I use the paint bucket tool. It's really handy, but you got to make sure your lines are tight. In my case, some are pretty open, pretty loose. This is me now selecting the layer of ink and locking it so that I can then just turn anything that's line work into a different color. It's super handy, and I'm using that for all of her tattoo work to just quickly distinguish, okay, this is what is part of her, this is what's designed on her, and it just adds a nice cool punctuation to the whole thing. Okay, yep, coloring all of this, and we're going to be moving on to the hearts and the inside of the dress above. And we're just kind of basically doing wrap up right now, just making sure all the lines are tight. And I've made it a separate layer underneath the lines for the heart part. I can just kind of fill it in better that way rather than just trying to do a paint fill into little tiny pieces. And And yeah, I don't know what that little alert was about, but apparently Google Pixel has something going on. Yeah, this was being recorded on my iPad. I'm slowly figuring out technical advantages to this piece, and you know, technical difficulties aside, I feel like things are coming along. You know, videos are slowly getting more interesting, a little more detailed. I've definitely gotten feedback saying, "Oh, you should do longer videos. You know, you should show more of the process, not these quick little ditties." And I'm like, okay. So, hopefully you guys are enjoying the drawing so far. I know I am. Now we're getting to the final phases. Oh, yep, looks like I need to tighten some lines some more. So, yep, tightening up some lines. So now it makes it a lot quicker and easier to fill, but as you know, sometimes the fill is not always as clean. So I have to go in with the pen and kind of just take away little white flecks that didn't quite make the cut. It just helps it look a little cleaner. Okay. Very nice. So now I'm kind of just moving it around. I definitely want to add some kind of background type of, you know, to mirror the original image a little bit, an homage, if you will. So I'm tightening up my lines for the hair, and I got to make sure that that can actually work, because as you can tell, it will just turn gray if I don't tighten it up. So yep, we're just gonna add in some other lines, but still kind of keep it wispy. You know, I don't want to just be like a straight smooth line. I want it to still feel organic, still feel like hair that's billowing in the wind. And then, you know, hopefully I've added enough lines so that when I do the fill again, it's gonna look pretty freaking cool. Alrighty, here we go. We're gonna try this fill again. Okay, much better. Awesome. Okay. Now we're just really kind of just doing the wrap-ups here. Adding some flecks and specks of blood. Now, as you can tell, I did not do the tattoos on her arms. She does have them, but I wanted to draw more attention to what she was doing more than what she had on her arms. So in this case, she's squeezing some hearts and they're kind of exploding in her hands. So here we go. Here's the final piece. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.